The topic and focus of today's presentation is on revenue producers. You will discover who they are, what they do, and how you can become one of them. This is the Employee to Entrepreneur Owner Transition System. Our focus is Own Your Future and Command Your Destiny. Before we get started, I want to share with you who I am. Throughout this series, my name is Ellen J. Harris. I've written several books. I have appeared on Blog Talk Radio, ABC News, The Examiner, and iTunes, and in my corporate history, I've worked for RCA GE at NBC News. Now, which way do you go as you make your transition from employee to entrepreneur? There are 3 steps you can begin to think about as you begin your journey. The first is to pick your direction. Will you return to corporate, or will you move forward into the unknown? Who can you serve? Who has the need for what you do? Can you fill that need, which is essentially solving their problem? And step 3, remember, it's always all about them. And based on that model, you set your pricing. We're going to begin with definitions. An employee, a wage earner. This has been consistent over time. The once 40-hour work week is now either 20 or 30 hours. Employee benefits are minimal. The Employee Health Care Plan has been replaced by the Affordable Health Care Act, and the severance package, my research shows, is roughly about 1 week. So the employee transitioning to business owner is an individual or an entity that owns a business, and it's the attempt to profit from the successful operation of that company. That person has the decision-making ability and the right to profit. They're usually formed in the business types of limited liability corporation, sole proprietorship, S corporation, or C corporation. Now, the employee to entrepreneur moves from wage earner to the owner or manager of an enterprise who, by risk and initiative, attempts to make profits. Your employee to serial entrepreneur, the key factor here is serial. It means the creation of simultaneous entities arranged specifically or consisting of a series of opportunities to generate profit. They too function by risk and initiative. The key to the serial entrepreneur is this is where real wealth is generated. Now, you're an entrepreneur startup. This is an area where you want to focus on a design that is repeatable and scalable with a specific revenue model and a specific business model. And scalable simply means that that entity can run without your direct involvement. It's a transition, and we will experience several transitions in this presentation. So the question to answer at this juncture is, who are revenue producers? These are professionals engaged in the revenue process. We're going to take a look at who they are and what they do. There are usually 4 types of revenue producers. They are identified as hunters, farmers, specialists, and non-selling professionals. Now, here's what they do. The hunter, their job is to add new accounts for growth. They are consistently looking at replacing lost revenue, and they have to scramble. They are highly prized because they have the ability to look into the marketplace and identify an entity that will say yes to their service. Your farmer expands revenues by 10% from their existing clients, and they do this through cross-selling and upselling activities. Your specialist is referred to as your sales engineer or proposal writers, and in your larger organizations they can be found in the context of 2 specialists for every hunter and farmer, and that's plural. The final and most interesting position is called the non-selling professional. This is your support area. So we're going to look at support later on in this presentation, but they do a bit of everything, and they deliver the professional services themselves, and they are supporting what's known as the line positions. Hunters and farmers are line positions. The non-selling professional is not line, but they do support those who are line positions. So revenue producers found in core functional areas are operations, logistics, production, sales, distribution and delivery, and marketing, advertising and promotion, and finance. Now, indirect revenue generators are human resources professionals and information technology professionals. Keep in mind that, like technology, revenue touches all business units. With that in mind, the no direct revenue skills, these are the individuals who function in a support role. They're in customer service, marketing support, sales support, operations support, and they don't have direct influence on revenue production, but they are needed to support those who do. So impact revenue includes your supply chain, product creation, rapid response revenue teams, and macro impact revenue. Now, I've been asked, how do revenue producers get to be revenue producers? The answer to that question is describing how revenue producers learn. If they've spent any time in corporations, they have received corporate training, or they are on the professional development team. There's another way as well. They transition. And what they transition are those skills, and they apply those skills to a do-it-yourself model, building their own client base. They take ownership of their learning. They don't wait around for permission to begin the process of generating revenue. So to become a revenue producer, you must own your learning, own your pathway. And they learn how to commercialize products and services, connect with the market, understand market wants, define a business model, implement the revenue model, and execute the revenue model through planning. Again, a transition. This time we are transitioning to the revenue producers who have moved from the macro market to the micro market. Macro is always the Fortune 10,000 space. William Whetstone began his career in television broadcast news. He took that skill and transitioned it to a micro broadcast operations center. Pamela Cornoyer also transitioned her skill from a national and international consultant to corporate communications. In Pamela's case, she transitioned in the reverse, starting small and transitioning to a larger market. Jim Kukral, you may be familiar with his name, is a speaker. He's given TED Talks. He teaches at the University of San Francisco, and he is an expert in interactive online marketing. Austin Grady, a highly skilled sales professional, translated and transitioned his skills into health and wellness. And Charles Pixley, once a commercial finance underwriter and loan originator, has become a highly sought-after corporate recruiter. So if this is an area of interest for you, and I recommend that it should be, you want to start with commerce. Commerce leads you to a specific set of STEM skills, and those STEM skills are social, TV, electronic, and mobile. The skills you learn are customer service, sales, marketing, and profit and loss statements. Production. In the production area, your revenue producers are business to business, business to consumer, and they focus on products of the mind. It's high yield, high performance content where you learn strategy, tactics, and operations. In equity, it's not banking equity, it is equity that is relational. And relational equity focuses on alliances, partnerships, referrals, and joint ventures. In this model, you learn communications, nurture, client engagement, and client acquisition, which leads you to market positioning. Market positioning involves portfolio assets, and the properties are intangible, but they also become tangible once you have associated your branding, your licensing, and leasing. The skills acquired are communication, portfolio tools, valuation, and innovation. The metrics. This is truly important. It's in your finance. It is your quarterly results. These are your key performance indicators in managerial finance and financial analysis. What you learn very quickly is zero sales equals poor performance. This is your next transition, marketing. In marketing, it's less traditional SWOT analysis and it's more lead engagement. You're involved in demand creation. You are identifying your metric forecast, and it's your consumer engagement that is most important. So you want to start and begin bottom up. Your revenue marketing measures predictive outcomes. It's demand generation. It's a revenue strategy for the marketplace, and lead generation is tactical. The traditional marketing is fundamental, but the skills you acquire are involving analytics and budget management as well as marketing. So what will your career transition look like with a blueprint, a plan, and specific tools? Your ability to generate revenue to add growth to your career is a skill. It's a revenue generating skill, and you can start where you are, or before you begin, select the right direction for you. The message of this presentation is that your business career will not shrink because your growth is so possible. And your upgrade, owning what you know, will get you there from here. So the final presentation is on its way tomorrow. Watch for it. It's called The Invitation.